Greetings comic fans, welcome to Dude's Comic Haul. I'm Jason, and this is my weekly video where I share with you the new books I've picked up today on officially the best day of the week, New Comic Book Day. Now those of you who watched my videos last week will have seen it was a bit of a monster haul last week. This week, a lot more manageable, just 10 books, plus a couple of back issues, which we'll come to at the end. So, kicking things off, we kick it off with Marvel and Amazing X-Men issue number 11. I know this hasn't been for everyone, but I really enjoyed the Wendigo story. It's been so cool to see Alpha Flight, cool to see Colossus back as part of the X-Men. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I don't think this is finished yet. I think it's a 5-part story. Yeah, part 4 or 5, so we've still got one issue to go. But I'm really enjoyed this so far, and I think Firestar as well has really slotted in nicely as part of the X-Men. We then have Edge of the Spider-Verse, issue number 3, with another Spider-Man. This week we have Aaron Aikman, the Spider-Man. I've really been enjoying these, and anything kind of Spider-Verse related has been really good. And it's an event so far that I don't know, would you count it as an event? I don't know, or more of a crossover amongst the Spider books. I don't know what the correct phrase is, but whatever it is, I've really been enjoying the Spider-Verse stuff, and yeah, it's been really well done so far. Speaking of really well done, we continue the march to Axis, and we have Magneto, issue number 10, sorry. I was going to say 8, but it's issue 10. I've really been enjoying what Columbine has done with Magneto. Plus, I've really enjoyed this march to Axis so far. It's been really, really good. Last week, we had Magneto was in Avengers as he Scarlet Witch, Rogue, and Havoc were also captured by Red Skull. So I'm looking forward to this continuation, and this story so far has been really good, and I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen to Magneto now he's been captured by the Red Skull. And yeah, this will probably be one of the first books I read this week. We then go on to Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 19. I don't know, there was some good stuff going on with this. We've got part 2 of the original Sin story we started last month. I don't really know any of the history of the cosmic Marvel stuff because I'm quite new to it. So I'm kind of a bit, it's going to be cool to find out what happened to that original, I think it was the original Nova, Richard Rider. It'd be interesting to find out what happened to him, but as I'm going along, I'm kind of learning stuff. So in that respect, it's interesting, but I'd rather get us back onto our regular stories. We then have, jumping over to DC, my favourite cover of the week. It is Future's End, issue number 21. That cover is badass. 2 weeks in a row, Future's End have done some great covers. And this is another book I'm really excited to read. For like about over a month now, this book has just been excellent every week, and the consistency on it is brilliant. And what's really interesting as well is to compare this to Batman Eternal, is they seem to have two very different ways with which they are doing their weekly series. With Batman Eternal, it seems to be, and I don't know this for sure, this is just my guess, but it seems to be because every issue they have like scripted by, that they have their pool of people that come up with the idea, and then somebody writes the script, and for each issue they got it, this is what needs to happen in this issue. So what happens sometimes is things will happen quickly or won't have as much substance because we need to get through this issue. That seems to be their approach. They break it down each issue and then give it to somebody to write. With this, it seems it's much more of a team effort, where they'll write each issue and maybe they'll each have a part or storyline that they'll write, and then they'll put them together. So it's two very different kind of ways of doing it. So far, I must admit, from a reader's perspective, I've enjoyed how Future's End have done it. I think that's worked better. Like I mentioned, I think some of the Batman Eternal issues sometimes feel a bit, the story feels like it's going a bit quick because they have to get so much done in each issue, and that's how they've plotted it out. Where with Future's End, because each writer has their bit, I think it just works better. And I think for over a month now, this book has just been excellent as they laid out their seeds, and now they're all like grown into these beautiful, beautiful trees. And yeah, so but super excited about reading this. We then have Amazing Spider-Man, the finale of Learning to Crawl. This is issue 1.5. Really been impressed with what they've done on this book. The art and the writing make it feel like an early Spider-Man story, so I think they've done a great job there in capturing that. But it's also been a good story as well, and I'm very curious to see how it'll finish. And some of these covers have been really good as well for the Learning to Crawl story arc, and this remains, and this is another really good cover. We then have Saga issue number 23. I've enjoyed this. I thought last issue was a lot better, though this arc hasn't been as strong as it has been previously. And I think for me there's a couple of things there. I think number one, you're taking a core thing, this relationship with Marco and Alana, which was our one rock in the book, and you're breaking it up. So that's instantly something that's uncomfortable to see. I then think also familiar elements like them being on the run, and having people like the Will and Lion Cat in it, they've kind of been took out of it. So we've got these familiar elements have been removed. We've got this really uncomfortable thing we're watching of these two characters' relationship breakdown. I think for me, I think that's why it's kind of tonally changed, and it's a slightly different book at the moment. But I think where the story's heading, I think we're going to get back to them being on the run. So I think that's going to be that's going to be really cool, because it's going to get back to what it was doing. I do worry about the front page. Always they try and put something shocking or funny on there, and I think it's a very tricky thing to do every issue. I don't think you're going to be able to pull it off, and I think maybe draw back on it, and when you have a good idea, do it. Otherwise just do a regular first page, because I think if you try and do it every month regardless, you're going to come to a point where you start overstepping the line, and I don't want to see them do that. But like I say, last issue I felt was a lot better, so I'm hoping this is going to continue to be better. But it's Saga, so I ain't going to drop it. So we then have The Flash. This is my only 3D issue this week, Future's End Flash. We have Wally West and we have Barry Allen on that cover. What they did here was very clever. They've been doing a story with the Future Flash, and he's been travelling back to right these wrongs that he's done. And so this issue just carries on the regular story of that with our Future Flash. So I think that's genius by Venditti and Jensen. So we got our regular team as well as Booth on art. So I'm actually really looking forward to reading this one. We then have Batman 66. I really like this book. It's cool to read a different Batman, a very different Batman to the Batman we know and love. So I like that. Plus also, it's a type of book, it's not dumbed down or anything, but you can read it as a family. You could share this with your kids and not worry about it too much. And yeah, it totally gets the vibe of the TV show. So yeah, always look forward to a bit of Batman 66. And finally this week, my 10th book is Batman Eternal, issue number 25. Really been looking forward to this one. We're going to get the origin of Hush, if what I've heard is true. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because that's going to be cool to get Hush's origin story. So that just leaves the back issues. And as a kid, Avengers was my favourite book. I've not been overly keen on what Hickman's done with the Avengers. I feel that he made this great big superb team, but he's not used them, he's not used the characters. There's not been that much development amongst the characters in the ones I read, and a lot of times it felt like Avengers could have been just any hero. And while he comes up with really great stories and really great ideas and really complicated ideas, I just don't feel that he's utilised a lot of these characters as good as he could have. But they're my favourites, so every so often I dip back in and see what's going on. So I picked up, this week I picked up issue 34.1. This was a $4.99 book, so I'm gathering it's going to be a bigger story. This one deals with Hyperion, who is kind of like the Marvel Superman in a way, from what I've seen of him. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting, what they do with Hyperion. And then we have issue number 35, which was also $4.99. So for two issues in a row, they've done a $4.99 book. And Marvel do seem to be doing a lot more of these $4.99 books this year, which is a trend that I am not liking. But by buying them, what can you do? You buy them and you're just encouraging them to do it. But we're not going to miss the books, are we? They've kind of really got us by the balls. But anywho, getting away from Marvel having my balls. This issue, from what I've heard, it's set 8 months in the future, because you can see the top there, it says 8 months time runs out, and I think things are supposed to be changing in 8 months. So with the lineup here, we've got Thor, but instead of Mjolnir, he's got John Burrow. We've got Iron Man over here at the end, who looks quite different. Next to Thor, the other side, we've got the Falcon as Captain America, and an old Steve Rogers. And then up here we've got Hulk, who looks like he may have his shaved head with the mohawk kind of deal. So yeah, I'm interested in that. That should be a nice teaser for what's to come in the future in the book. So, but again, like I say, they're both $4.99, which was a bit of a. And then finally, I picked up a back issue. I got issue 28. I stopped getting it at issue 27, so I've kind of gone back, picked up issue number 28, see what that was like. So those are my books. My reviews, I'm not sure when they'll be up. Most probably I would expect them to be up on Sunday. That unlikely today. My Avengers ones probably won't be up as part of my reviews. I'll probably do a separate video some point next week reviewing these. So if you're interested in them, look for that. But the rest of my books, yeah, they should be up in my reviews come Sunday. So that's me done. Thank you very much as always for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this video, give me those beautiful thumbs up. Let me know you like what I'm doing. As I said, I will be back at the weekend. Hope you enjoy all your new comics. I've been Jason. This has been Dudes Comic Haul. Bye for now.